Okay, so with AX going on and them announcing some manga publishing deals, and you got the Vagabonds, the Berserks Deluxe Editions are becoming more and more of a thing. I thought I'd sit down and go over some stuff that I want Deluxe Edition of. You know what they say. I'm going to try to speak it into existence. Especially for this first one on this list, Rave Master. If you don't know, it's by the same author of Fairy Tail, Eden Zero. Listen, we can be honest with ourselves. He gets a lot of slack for his characters look very, very, very similar. But what got me thinking about this was at AX, they announced they were printing Dead Rock. That's not the only thing that makes me think of this all the time, because I own a volume 6. I don't even know what printing this is. First printing, December 2003. Trust me, you can tell, too, with that yellowing. Listen, I was young. I didn't take very good care of my stuff. I don't even think I owned, I think I still owe my cousin this volume. So if you watch this, I have your volume 6 of Rave Master, if you want it back. The story of Rave Master follows Haru and Plu. You can see right there, Plu reminds you of some other characters, no? And while the story itself is nothing crazy, I just remember Haru and his rave sword, and he can put these stones in him and transform it, or it gives it other powers. And it just has this really nostalgia part of my brain when I think of Rave Master. And his works are incredibly popular. Fairy Tail definitely, I think, being the one that got into the most popular culture echelon of manga titles. And it just seems kind of wild to me that, again, we haven't even gotten a reprint or an omnibus format or a special edition or anything of Rave Master. And this is one of those series, while it might not be the most popular thing, I do remember, even before I started collecting all this, way, way, way back, this manga title had a little bit of a hold in North America, so it's kind of wild that we haven't really heard anything about it. And the second title on this list is a title that I refuse to own, because I believe this so strongly. I've talked about it in videos before. Slam Dunk. Slam Dunk is by the same author as Vagabond. Slam Dunk is, and I know you guys know this, is considered one of the quintessential sports manga. It is a legendary status. And that's what I've heard. I don't know too much about the story. I have heard, I think the last chapter is completely wordless, or something to that effect, around the final chapter of this series. He didn't write any words, and he wrapped up this story just through his art. And again, if you've seen Vagabond, you know this guy can draw. This guy can draw. His art is absolutely stunning. And I would have thought that Slam Dunk, when the movie got announced and released a year ago at this point, that it would have been the perfect time. And especially around that time, the Slam Dunk volumes were hard to find. They finally did get a reprint recently, but they had the perfect marketing opportunity with that movie to release a special edition of Slam Dunk. And now with Vagabond getting the definitive edition, I feel like more than ever, there is an opportunity, and I believe that if those definitive editions do well, which we know, listen, I own them in the back there, but I'm still going to pick up those definitive editions. I think Slam Dunk is closer than ever to getting a deluxe edition, and I will be so excited. I love sports manga, and it is crazy to me that I have not read this series yet, but I'm just waiting. I'm believing in myself and believing in the manga community to bring Slam Dunk definitive edition into a reality. We can do it. Man, it's going to happen. Come back to this video 4 years ago. He was wrong. It didn't even get close. And number 3 is Battle Royale. If you don't know, I believe that this manga is based off of a novel, which they also made into a movie. The reason I say that is because I actually own the movie on Blu-ray, and I absolutely love that movie. This manga, I feel like, has been in the zeitgeist of manga collecting and things like that. I mean, look at the prices on eBay. Battle Royale is the story of a class of junior high school students who are forced to fight each other to the death. It is aggressive Hunger Games. So that type of story, I feel like the manga, I've looked at some panels before. I feel like it can really translate so good into this art form. And it's just one of those series that I would love to own and add to my collection. And number 4 on this list is GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka. I've checked out the anime a little bit, but this is definitely a series. I know if you guys watch this, you have heard about this series before. And again, those prices on eBay and secondhand and everything has always been wild for this series. And it just seems that if companies really pay attention to this community, GTO is definitely one of those titles that even if you don't really know what it's about, you've heard of this title. And it's still a little bit wild to me that it hasn't gotten a reprint or an omnibus format or deluxe edition, because I think there's enough reverence for it that people will buy it. Hey, I know I would be right there day one, because the story of GTO is the story about, well, Onizuka, a 22-year-old teacher. I mean, it's right there in the title. But Onizuka is an ex-gang member and just follows his life as a teacher where he's trying not to go back to his old ways. But sometimes they just keep coming out. And it's always kind of been pitched to me, what I've heard about it, is a slice of life series with a really good central character. I have just heard nothing but people sing its praises, and I just want to add it to the collection and read this series and see for myself if it really lives up to the expectations that I've already built up for it in my head. And the last one that I want, I still have one more after this that's actually from you guys, pretty much, that I wanted to put on this list. But the last one is King of Wolves. If you don't know, it's a manga by Mira. Yeah, Kentaro Mira. He actually teamed up with Bronson. And how in the world, especially with Mira being a legend in this industry, has this series not been reprinted or put in a deluxe edition, especially with how well the Berserk deluxe editions do? The story of King of Wolves is about this character named Iba who goes missing while studying the Silk Road. And apparently there's like time travel and incredible fights in this series. And I mean, with Mira's art, it's got to be good. I mean, just look at this art. And even though I have said before that I think the Golden Age arc is one of the best arcs ever in manga, period, and maybe don't love everything about Berserk, listen, I know, I still think it is an incredible series overall, but I have always respected Mira, and his art is, bar none, some of the best art I've ever seen in this media. There is no doubt about it. And just from a complete historical aspect, or just to know the history of manga, I would love to have King of Wolves in this collection and to be able to see kind of what Mira can do outside of the series that made him so popular. But this is definitely one of those that I can see get the deluxe editions down the road. And the last one is because I have seen multiple times in the comments down below, boy, this is a series that I am incredibly interested in reading. It is also a very, very long, popular series in Japan that has not ever came over here before. I'm telling you, any video that we talk about like Vinland Saga, there's always the comments, and I love it. Listen, I have looked into it. It's just so hard. Like, I don't even think it's available digitally anywhere. Like, I have to go through scan websites just to kind of read it. And I think with a series that is held in this such high regard, while if I have to read the scans, listen, I will read the scans, but I would love to physically pick it up and read it. And I know I'm not the only one. I feel like anytime Dark Horse or someone is like, we're going to make some manga announcements, in the comments on like Twitter or YouTube or something like that, it's like, here it is. It's happening. Everyone lock in. Kingdom is coming. And it hasn't came yet. And that's the thing. I don't know. It's one of those that there are so many volumes in this series that I'm not giving up hope that Kingdom will get published over here. I definitely think that it should get published over here. But I'm wondering if there's not some backroom reason that they have not tried the North American market with this series specifically. Because that is the only thing I can think of for it not to have even ever came over here before. But man, you guys have talked up Kingdom to me, and that is one series that if I ever heard that announcement, One, I would be incredibly excited. I would probably flip over this table in excitement. But two, as a Vinland Saga fan, as it being one of my favorite series ever, if you're telling me this is better and more interesting than Vinland Saga, I am very, very, very looking forward to reading this series one day, physically. But those are just some series that I think would benefit from a deluxe edition, omnibus format, of reprinting in general. What are some series that you guys would want reprinted? Let's talk in the comments down below. And as always, I wholeheartedly appreciate you guys that made it to the end of this video. It means the world to me. And I hope, if you're having a bad day, it gets better. If you're having a good day, I hope it becomes fantastic. I'll see you next time.